States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, thank you. Will the city recorder please call roll?
Mayor Jackala.
Present.
Council President Steinhebel. Here. Councilor Conti.
Here.
Councilor Angelford.
Here.
Councilor Savage. Councilor McLean. Councilor Workman.
All righty, thank you so much. Move on to consent calendar. Following items are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussions on these items unless a councilor so requests. In this case, the item will be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately. Number one, the agenda, Lebanon City Council agenda, April 8, 2026. Appointments, Charlotte Wiebe, Budget Committee. Board minutes is number 3. Planning Commission, May 21st, August 20th, November 19th, 2025, and February 18th, 2026. Senior Disabled Services Advisory Committee, October 15th, 2026. Number 4, council minutes, 2026-03-11, work session and regular meeting, 2026-03-25, city council special meeting. Is there a motion to approve or?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made to approve. It's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. No presentations or recognitions tonight. Move on to public comments. Do we have any cards? Well, I'll read it anyhow. The citizens may address the council by filling out a testimony card prior to speaking and hand it to the city recorder. Each citizen is provided up to 5 minutes to provide comment to this council. Council may take an additional 2 minutes to ask clarifying questions. The city recorder will accept and distribute written comments at speaker's request. And we don't have any tonight, so we'll move no public hearings. We'll move on to the first regular session item. This might be a quick night. We'll see. Lynn County Emergency Telephone Agency dissolution. And Chief Stevenson, give your report. Probably doesn't have any batteries in it.
Frank, you can just tell me and I'll say it for you.
Okay, we're on pace to have a quick night, but then I handed
Then
over.
you said that, and
Yeah, I said that.
now look where we are. Yeah.
It was green for a second.
Mean we get to grill him if he sits there?
I did. I broke it. Can you everybody hear me now? All right, thanks. Sorry about that. I must have pushed the button too hard. So what I have before you tonight is a resolution of dissolution of the Lynn County Emergency Telephone Agency Committee. Basically, and I'm going to do my best to try to explain this the best way I can, but in a nutshell, and I'll give you the quick background history on it. In 1986, there was 8 different 911 regional centers, and they decided that was a lot. So they made a decision to form a one county statewide or one county PSAP operated by the Lynn County Sheriff's Office. And this was under an interagency agreement. It was the ETA Service Provider Committee that was made up of local fire and law enforcement representatives, and it was basically established to provide oversight to the IGA. And it's been over 40 years now that we've been operating with Lynn County as the #1 PSAP, which is the Public Safety Answering Points, also known as 911. And we've had 0 issues, and really it's come to attention that the committee is no longer in need. And basically it's just dissolving, and it's no longer in need of oversight of the 911 center. So my recommendation is to approve the resolution of dissolution as all the requirements of the original IGA have been met. I will do my best to answer all the questions that you might have.
Any questions?
Frank, what does that system cost, or is there a cost to it?
There is a cost, but I don't know what that cost is. We don't pay into it. We have our own dispatch center. It's a tax, so all the taxes go into the 911 center. So that's what taxes go into that.
So there will be some kind of savings?
No, there won't be any savings. It was at no cost to us. It was just, we agreed that Lynn County would oversee the emergency center for 911, so all 911 calls will go there. And instead of it being divided 8 separate ways, it all just went to one place. Does that make sense?
It does.
So there's really there was no cost to us. There's no cost savings. It's all the same. It's just the reason why they're dissolving the committee basically is it meets all the interagency government agreement. It has for over 40 years now.
It will have no effect on service at all.
It'll have no effect on service, none whatsoever. We're not losing anything. Everything's going to operate the same. It's still the primary 911 center. We're the secondary, so we're considered a secondary 911 center. So all those calls get transferred to us. They're just the ones that handle the original calls going to that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So what you're saying is an adequate system that just is, it needs to just be gotten rid of.
Yeah. Basically, the committee, it was made up of all different agencies. So Lebanon, Lynn County, Lebanon Fire, Albany Fire. So it was just there to oversee like the funding that the taxes would come in, where it would go to, and things of that nature. And it's never really been any issues.
Any other questions or discussion? Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made to approve the dissolution of the Lynn County Emergency Telephone Agency. It's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Chief. Move on to the next item, municipal jail operation levy poll results and council direction. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sean, if you want to come up in case we got questions throughout this. So what we have before you tonight is kind of the another recap of the polling results and get some council direction as we move forward with potential levy for the municipal jail. I won't go through too much of the background, but in March, we had Betsy Schultz, who council authorized to hire Pacific Northwest Strategies, begin performing work on the jail levy. And the first phase of that included some polling. J.L. Wilson Research, or J.L. Wilson with Nelson Research, did statistical polling on the week of March 16th. Just to kind of recap that, the general sentiment, 67% of respondents approve of the Lebanon Police Department. 63.7% indicated reopening the municipal jail is important. So we had some initial ballot support of about 48.6%, and support increased to about 66.3% when respondents learned that there wasn't going to be an additional cost with the levy falling off. That's kind of a recap on that stuff. Some of the considerations for the city council as we move forward, if you choose to move forward, potential competition from other local tax measures in November 2026 or May of 2027. The expiration of our general obligation bond in 2026, which currently costs taxpayers approximately $1.17 per thousand of assessed value. Our operations levy is estimated to be about $1 per thousand of assessed value to fund the jail. That includes staffing, medical, and operating costs. So those are some of the considerations for council to think about. Some of the roles and limitations. I think we've covered this quite a bit, but city staff, including myself, the chief, we're limited in providing information to the public in terms of we can provide factual only. That's going to come down to a council, or a PAC, or outside agencies doing that work. But what we're allowed to do is put together fact sheets and do some of that kind of stuff as we move through this. Excuse me. I've got a little bit of a cold here. So one of the, we prepared 3 options for y'all tonight. Option 1 is to prepare a measure for the November 26th general election and move forward with that. Option 2 would be to prepare a measure for the 2027 special election if you thought that you needed more time to maybe educate the public or to move forward with that. One caveat of that is remember that special election we're estimating to cost somewhere between $60,000 and $100,000, whereas in the general election it's all funded. Is there a cost in the general election, Julie? I think that just gets lumped into the.
I think there is a cost, but it's because we're sharing it with so many different entities.
So it's substantially less. And option 3 would be to not pursue a local option levy at this time. Those are the 3 options. Staff did not make a recommendation on which way to move forward with this, as we're leaving that up to you to give us guidance, and we will move forward with the direction that you would like us to move forward on. With that, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. I know that was fast. Before, you've also got kind of a little guideline that Betsy Schultz put together. Kind of gives a layout if you choose to move forward in the November general election. I think if you were to move forward on that, we would start crafting things. Her recommendation is to wait until after the May election is over. Sean, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think the timeline does get us started early in May in terms of developing messaging and message collateral and things like that, but not really engaging much until after the primary. So there's a lot of work to do, and we have a good amount of time to get it done in, but we would have to start on time and hit our marks, so to speak, throughout the process.
So with that, are there any other questions for us?
I think some of my questions are going to be for Sean. So Sean, Betsy isn't here, so you're going to receive these. On some of these, so the community outreach launched June, like some of these pieces, like how does that look with council? Do you have to limit that to not a majority of council to have meetings to talk about like messaging or community present? And maybe this question too for you and for community presentations, or can that be everyone on council participating just with public meetings laws?
If I recall, Ron, and you'll have to back me up on this, we had this discussion and there was some concern about quorum when and if a majority of council members were working on this together in one place. But I don't remember what the resolution was to that conversation. Do you?
Julie and I have talked about this quite a bit, and I think what we've come to the conclusion of is if there is a quorum of you, it can be discussed in this setting, right? We just can't provide input, yes, go, no, don't go. That's totally up to you. But I think that would be our recommendation is those discussions about how you all as a body want to move forward could happen in this setting so that it was during a public setting, right?
Okay,
It'd
yeah.
just be us as staff, just kind of sitting back and going, okay, how do you, it wouldn't be any different than, I'll use Counselor Workman, who is a strong advocate for the jail, and he's mentioned that how many times in a council meeting. I don't think it's any different than that, and how you guys move forward with that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I it uses the word guardrails, and that's kind of what.
And once we get into this, I think we can have Betsy here. I mean, some of the things we've talked about as staff, right? We can do a one-pager on the facts. We can, if we chose to do a town hall about the facts, we as staff could do that if we thought it was necessary. I think where it gets a little gray
We
would.
pass that off to counselors for the advocacy piece.
I think even with the city promoting it, so we couldn't go advertise a town hall, at least what we've read,
Okay.
for come hear facts about the jail, and on the back end of that, have a pro group or a negative group in there, unless we, Julie, correct me if I'm wrong, unless we opened it up to everybody, right? So let's say there was a PAC form that was pro-jail, and you were gonna give a spiel at the end of whatever staff said, as in terms of, hey, here's the facts about the jail, when it was closed, how much it's gonna cost to operate, and those types of things. We couldn't advertise that.
I understand, because a PAC would be putting on the back
Right.
end. Okay,
So
That makes sense.
what we can do as staff is go to that meeting, and we could potentially give facts, but I think it gets a little gray. It's probably best to keep those separate.
sure, yeah.
But you can organize it.
I can't advertise it. So I can't notice said meeting where you're going to have a pro, then it gets into the politics of it, right?
And how would we advertise it?
Well, that's up to your PAC, right? And this is off of Oregon government ethics stuff.
So Ron,
Gray.
this meeting scenario that you're talking about, if staff were to just prepare a factual video, could that be shown at the meeting without any staff people attending, but have a presentation, the PAC, whoever, pro, against, whatever, then discuss afterwards in a town hall setting?
Yeah, I mean, I think we as staff will prepare that, I'll call it a one-pager, which is what we use at the legislature. So you give a list of the facts, and it'll be a little bit different than that, than a one-pager, but we'll give a list of the facts and your talking points about the jail, but it will remain neutral. So that could be used there. Could we do a video where we did that? Sure, we could do a video where we're there. I think we want to look into a little bit more, and this is where Betsy will come in, is if, let's say, you all organized a town hall, right? And you advertised it through a specific PAC, whatever that is. Can myself and the chief show up and go, well, here's the facts about the jail? I think that I'm a little fuzzy on that still. I'm not sure that we can actually do that, but we might be able to.
You just can't make a recommendation.
Right, but I think the association, if we go to something like that, kind of insinuates
Yeah.
that you could, I mean, we're probably out overthinking it maybe a little bit. That's why I want her direction on that.
It's no different than when we run for office. We couldn't have Ron come to a election event and talk, from the city standpoint that, oh, yeah, he does, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I'd do it, but it'd be my last day, so.
So the recommendation is we wouldn't do public facing outreach until after May 19th is when the primary is. So for May 19th, the next deadline is August 14th by this document here.
Is that the
ballot,
filing date?
Yeah,
ballot title. Is that the first deadline that we reach? I have a point to these questions.
yeah, that's when the ballot, but during that time, you could be doing, you could be doing a lot of outreach. I think we've looked at several cities who've got operations levies and looked at their websites and what those look like. And so we can put that information on our website, right? purely factual. We can develop a one-page sheet, well, I call it a one-page, it might be 2 pages, that's set out in all of our buildings to give everybody the facts. I want to talk to Betsy about what our role would be, whether we as city staff try and engage the public with just a factual, like town hall, or if we let the PAC and this council do that portion of it. What we can provide, I know we can provide, we can say, okay, well, you want to reserve X building for your town hall event. I couldn't go out and advertise that or notice it like we would notice a city council meeting or something like that for the city. We couldn't do that piece. So that would be where you guys would have to notice that. Does that make sense?
Essentially, my reasoning for asking that question just was to make sure that this group understands how hands-off they have to be when it comes to this. It really has to be carried by council. But with that, I want to make sure that Ken gets to his question, of course.
Well, what I was going to say is it looks like our first deadline's August 14th, and we're going to be waiting until after May 19th to really kick into doing this. So with the main advocate for this issue not being here tonight, and another counselor that I just communicated with, he's on shift. So I'd be okay with tabling this until next meeting where there's actually enough people. I'm not for kicking the can down the road at all. I'm all about making decisions. However, the main advocate that's been pushing this is not here to give his testimony and to voice his opinion on this issue.
I think that's a good idea, Ken. And Dave Workman, if you're watching this YouTube, be here or be square.
So I think there's a fourth option of tabling it till May because it's the second Wednesday of the month. I know that would be what? Look at our calendars. 13th?
Do you see anything timing wise that would prevent us? I mean, the only thing is we wouldn't have a lot of material totally ready at this point.
That's my one concern.
So we would be, that would be the only downside to that is waiting another month to put those materials together, which I don't know that it's going to take that long. A lot of this is going to come from the chief. I think the rest of it is just a matter of formatting but what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's fundamentally survivable. I'd hate to give up a month, to be perfectly blunt, because the longer time you have to communicate about your messaging, the better opportunity you have to hone your messaging. So I would expect some of that still goes on in the meantime, but I think we could get through it.
Okay.
Is there any other questions or discussion?
I'd like a little bit of clarification. It's very clear to me that the city staff is constrained to being only neutral and factual. I wasn't quite understanding what Michelle was asking in regard to the role of the city council and there being a quorum or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that if we're all at the same PAC event, there might be issues because then we're essentially talking about something we have voted on and it's council business and we're asking the public to also vote on. And if we're out there all together, my understanding, and obviously the city attorney isn't here, and I wish he was because he could correct me if I'm wrong, we could be in some perhaps hot water. So that's where I'm concerned on, that's where I brought that up. So I think as long as we stay under 3 at those kind of events, I think we're okay. But I'm just kind of shooting from the hip on if this is correct or not.
Julie?
That's my understanding too. As long as you stay away from a quorum, then you're not violating any public meeting laws. I also did want to talk to Trey about it, and I plan to do that when he comes back. But I think that any time that you gather as a quorum, then it's a needs to be a public meeting.
Well, particularly for this one, because we would be talking about something that is a city issue. Like if we're at DSA, I mean, it has different rules apply there. Does that answer your, my question make
does,
sense now in
yeah.
that light? Okay.
And she's kind of laid that out here in her last page there. One counselor often emerges as the key connector to the community. It could be one or two, right? And so they're kind of reporting back to this body.
I think we know who that is.
We do too.
So I think there's nothing wrong during council comment section, that happens every meeting where you guys discuss what's going on. Or, hey, I'd like to see us move this way or that way, because then it is in the public facing, right? So the public sees how you all got there rather than at some meeting at the senior center or wherever it happens to be. So, a lot of rules.
So regarding a town hall, we obviously have to do some advertising or send out mailers or
Yes,
something like that.
yes.
Who pays for that?
That'd be the PAC.
PAC. Has anyone else talked to a PAC about this beforehand? Assuming there's some association
I've
with a
been,
PAC in town?
I've been kind of busy
Okay,
with
yeah.
some other stuff.
I did
so.
check with one PAC and there is some agreement that there would be help. Just put it that way. So, and I know there's another PAC and I'm hoping that other members could maybe check with that one.
And one of the other things that we've thought about is maybe putting something in our utility bills, which would be similar to what our one pager is on the fax, right? So we could put those kinds of things out, but we can't advocate one way or the other whether this should go. So that's where this gets a little bit tricky.
Well, that would solve the issue of sending out a mailer.
Yeah, it depends on how so ours is going to be strictly, it's not going to, as a pro jail person that you are, right? It's not going to have, hey, here's why you should vote for the jail. Ours is going to be, hey, here's the Lebanon Municipal Jail. Here's what it's going to cost to operate. Here's why it closed down in 2022. It operated this way. We don't have the funding to operate it moving forward. So it's going to be strictly fact-based. So as a PAC can put out other forms of voter information, right? Hey, this is why you should vote on this because we want to stop X, Y, Z from happening.
But with a utility bill, you could just state on the utility bill in a message that there's a town hall meeting at so-and-so place at so-and-so time regarding the jail.
I don't think you could, no.
No, I can't advertise anything for pro or con.
There's no difference in me trying to for my race, put on the utility bill saying, hey, we're going to have a meet and greet with Ken Jackla for House District 11. You can't do
But the
that.
message would just be that there's going to be a town hall meeting.
Yeah, I think we'd still, if it's not something that the city is actually running, then I would say no, you couldn't do that. It'd have to be done by the PAC through either like Facebook. It would have to be done through a mailer that the PAC does, some of that effect.
That's why I said in the last meeting about this subject, this is strictly on the council to make it happen.
So can,
The city is not involved in it.
so can a sitting councilor put money in this PAC for advertising or flyers or whatever?
Yeah. We just can't use city properties for advocating for.
Would right now be a good time to talk about matching funds?
No.
I think the first thing we need to do is decide if we're going to vote on this tonight, vote to do it this year, to do it in 27, to not do it at all, or to shelve it until, or table it till May. So the main advocate for this levy that's voiced his opinion for the last 3 years is actually present to be in that conversation. I think those, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is open forum, so I think those are our 4 options right there. 3 of them were provided by staff. The last one I'm going to throw in there just because of the obvious absence of 2 counselors.
I don't think postponing it's going to change the vote.
I really don't want to lose a month either. And I think I think we all kind of know Dave Workman would be the lead on this, and I guess if he isn't, then we could come back and discuss, but
Speak about it, so.
he's
but
been
He can speak the next time.
very passionate about it, and I just don't, I feel, what Sean pointed out, losing a month of time to get materials ready, and it would be nice just to be ready to go on May 19th. Instead of have staff perhaps scramble a little bit to build a page that has information about it that's factual, or start discussing, you know, strategy on our end or any of that. Like we're waiting until that date, and I don't like losing the time. I do respect exactly where you're coming from on Dave not being here, though. But I feel like he would be a yes, pretty resounding yes.
Well, yeah.
So do I hear a motion?
We haven't talked about the timing yet of the November and May. I want to go back to that. Does anyone see benefit in waiting and spending the extra money to put it on a ballot, or are we all kind of thinking that this should go in November 26?
I think it should be November 26th.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay. Well, I guess never mind. I guess we are ready. Okay. I move that council direct staff to proceed with option 1, which is to prepare a measure for the November 2026 general election for a 5-year local option levy.
I'll
I second it.
Motion's been made to move on municipal jail operation levy for 2026. It's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay.
You're welcome, Dave, wherever you
Hey,
are.
Dave, it's yours now.
We will be
Start
back
working.
in May.
Just so that on the record, I'm for this.
Right,
I just wanted to make sure that
right.
if we could have a full council on this, that it already shows a little bit more transparency, you know, that one of the main advocates for this, and I know he probably wishes he was here right now. That's the only reason I brought up the fourth option.
And I want to add, the only reason I pushed for this going now is because we did that roll call vote in the past where I knew that everyone was on board to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I think why I went forward with this
Okay.
extra time, so.
Okay, and we'll either do a work session in May with Betsy, or have an agenda item at least to show you what we've developed on one pager, kind of getting the website ready. Nothing public consumption until we get out there past the May election, and we'll move forward that way.
Great.
Okay,
Okay, next up, department report, city manager.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't
Thank you, Sean.
have a whole lot. Boys and Girls Club auction is coming up on May 2nd. I think we have 4 seats available. Is there anybody here interested?
At a different table.
Okay,
Trish and I will come.
okay. So there's 6. Need 2 more.
Okay.
Okay? Just you, single,
Oh,
or?
no, me and the wife.
Okay, so
Cool.
we're full.
There you go.
All right.
If you could get that list to me so I can get it to
Yeah, I will,
Casey.
yeah, I'll send you that. in a moment.
Okay.
Better write it down.
Ron, is there a cost to that?
I do not believe so. No. Am I correct in that? Yeah.
Then I'm definitely going.
The only other thing I've got is budget, April 16th at 1 PM here. That's Thursday, April 16th at 1 PM. All we're going to do is hand out budget books and read the message, and basically give it to you to digest, come up with a chair and a vice chair, I believe, and then also set the dates for the actual budget hearings, so.
So
that'll
that's a
happen.
short meeting, never mind. Okay.
It shouldn't be too bad, no. Unless I read the 15-page budget message.
Please don't.
Okay.
We're talking tomorrow, right? No, the 16th of this.
Yeah,
week.
next week, sorry.
Next.
I'm like,
next
oh
Thursday.
gosh, I hope it's not tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, I lost some days there.
That's all I've got, unless you've got questions for me.
And that was at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, yeah.
Alrighty, thank you. Move on to, is there any items from council?
No?
No. Okay, we'll move on. Is there any, anybody from the public or press that would like to address the council? So next scheduled council meeting be city council meeting, May 13th, 2026 at 6 PM. City and Urban Renewal Agency Budget Committee meetings, April 16th, 2026 at 1 PM. At this time, we'll adjourn the regular session and move into an executive session as soon as the room is prepared. So